Big changes are on the way for Sprint. Here to tell us what that means for you and how to compare it to other providers, our expert Timmy Moore for this installment of Tech Tuesday. Good morning, Timmy.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us as always. And so when people hear big changes on the way for a big cell phone provider such as Sprint, a lot of people get worried. So what are we talking about?
Well, first, SoftBank is a Japanese company, and they've just bought about 3/4 of the Sprint company for about $20 billion. So what the change was supposed to do was they wanted to combine the two networks to hopefully, because SoftBank was a very big Japanese carrier, and they wanted to come to Sprint because they both compare the same compatible network, so they both have the same networks, all their phones will work together. So they recently just bought about 70% of Sprint. SoftBank has given Sprint $8 billion to invest into their network because some were saying Sprint's been slow, Sprint's not
That is one of the big complaints,
Sprint's not pushing their LTE network as fast as like Verizon is or AT&T is. So this SoftBank purchase is really going to help Sprint in the end.
So a merger, would you say?
A little bit like a merger because they're not, like SoftBank didn't completely buy out Sprint. Sprint's still Sprint, but they do own a big part of Sprint now.
Okay, so SoftBank obviously could make some changes to the
yes, they're
network.
probably going to make some changes.
And so what can folks who are carriers of Sprint expect?
They could probably expect definitely faster data speeds. Eventually, if they have an LTE phone, they'll start to see LTE coming into more places if you're on the Sprint network. And that's one advantage with Sprint is they're the only carrier right now that offers unlimited data for $79.99. T-Mobile offers that now. They're starting to get back into that unlimited game.
Minus the iPhone. Sorry, go ahead.
But
I know, I had to throw that in there.
Yep. But Sprint, that is their advantage, unlimited data. But their problem is people don't want to jump to that unlimited data because they're not wanting to get that downgraded network quality. They'd want that more LTE places, which is what Verizon and AT&T are starting to offer. So this buyout could really help Sprint in the end because if you want a cost-effective network, you don't want to spend $200-some just to get more LTE places, Sprint will definitely start to get a very good option for customers.
What does this mean for the other carriers as far as Sprint's new presence in the market? Do the other carriers, do they have to sort of rethink their strategies or step up their game a little bit?
That is a good question. Verizon has a big lead right now in the LTE world because they started in about 2010, so they knew to get a head start on all the other carriers. Then AT&T kind of started following because now they're almost close to halfway, if I remember correctly. They're about halfway close to Verizon. Sprint's just right underneath AT&T. So really, they're competitors. They're going to start. Sprint's going to start to get back in the game. They're going to get a big network. They're going to start to lower their fees. They're going to get a better network. So that just means better choices for customers. So that so you don't have so you don't have that monopoly either, where one carrier offers all these services and they can charge what they want.
All right, Timmy. Obviously, we don't have time to talk about this entire article, but you found this on AndroidTaskForce.com.
Correct.
And that's where you can go to read up on all of the new changes coming to Sprint and SoftBank together. If people want to send you a message, if they have a question regarding anything tech related, where can they find you at?
I do have a Twitter, Timothy M. Jr. They can send me any questions regarding the Sprint deal. If you want to find a carrier that's good for you, you can ask me questions. I'll be able to help you.
All right, Timmy Moore, thank you so much for joining us for this week's Tech Tuesday.